good day everyone. I am here to critique about the research paper entitled Alternative Learning System as Ethical Education by Mr. Edwin Kabibil that addresses the question on the effectiveness of alternative learning system, or known as ALS, in promoting ethical values and moral development alongside academic learning among its learners. In answer, the author claims that it constitutes a form of ethical education that upholds the intrinsic dignity, autonomy, and transformative potential of adult learners. He also justifies this thesis through the following points. First, that ALS provides a chance to reclaim their identity and sense of worth. In moral education, relationships are important as this is where learners feel seen, heard, and supported. Secondly, that ALS promotes justice and capability development. In Amartya Sen's capability approach views, education is a means to expand what people are able to be and to do. Thirdly, ALS enhances resilience, academic motivation, and achievement, strengthening individual agency. As mentioned in the first part of the researcher's essay, it focuses on ALS as the ethical dimension of education by offering second chances to out-of-school individuals, promoting the values of inclusion, social justice, and personal integrity. ALS serves not only as an academic intervention, but also as a transformative ethical framework for developing responsible and moral citizens. It emphasizes not only academic recovery, but also moral development, human dignity, social inclusion, and capability building, positioning education as transformative and relational process, and does not cover the technical, vocational, or purely academic aspects of ALS that only focuses on the impact of the program through ethical perspectives. It approaches the topic by using conceptual analysis. One striking illustration that the author uses is the Alternative Learning System, or ALS, is a parallel learning program in the Philippines designed to provide education to out-of-school youth, adults, and marginalized populations. Framing ALS as ethical education invites a philosophical inquiry into how learning environments can serve as platforms for moral formation and social justice, and even human dignity. For what I've read in the draft submitted, the author's argument is strong for the following three reasons. Firstly, because it shows clear philosophical grounding, where the root of his claims in moral philosophy, particularly about the human dignity, about conscience ethics, justice and equity by Rawlsian and Sen's, the relational ethics, gives his work not just educational, but philosophical legitimacy. Also, it leans heavily in moral philosophers like Noddings, Sen, and ethical language, like the dignity, justice, moral imperative to support its claim. Secondly, its integration of local and global sources were cited both Filipino contexts like Navarro, Alviso, and etc. And also it talks about international ethics theorists like Sen, Maniscalco, and others, which offers both grounded and global perspectives. Thirdly, the ethical framing of ALS beyond function. He was able to move the ALS discourse from being just a second chance program to a moral project, which it gives a greater intellectual depth and ethical urgency. Nevertheless, I would like to point out the following weaknesses in the essay. I am respectfully presenting them now for the researcher's consideration. For one, while the paper includes a section on objections, these counter-arguments are briefly mentioned and quickly rebutted without deep engagement. It means it needs more stronger counter-arguments to each claims so that it will not make the analysis seem one-sided or biased. He can also cite more arguments that will contradict the claims. Thus, I would like to suggest the following improvements to the essay. Firstly is to link its theory to ethical principle more explicitly, like after citing sense capability approach, you can briefly explain why this is ethical. You can expand. Secondly, you can enrich justification with empirical journal-based claims that intersect with ethics, pedagogy, inclusion, and empowerment. Like you can add more Philippine journal-based claims to support the ethical dimension of ALS, like these sets of study about the androgyny competency and creativity, about the study on ALS, even in the engagement through supportive classroom environments, and the function literacy for holistic empowerment about ALS. Also, you can also illustrate how ALS embodies ethical ideas like empowerment through autonomy and competence. It can be engagement and nurtured through supportive or person-centered spaces, or even a holistic moral formation that about beyond knowledge to action life skills. You can also refer to some proposed strengthening statement which is flashed on the screen. And I think that's all for today. Allow me to end by congratulating Mr. Kabibil for his great, meaningful, and impactful paper which adds depth to the discourse on ethical education. I hope that you will going to pursue writing this paper not only to inform but may serve as an inspiration and foundation for future scholarly inquiry that may encourage us deeper exploration into ethical education and be a transformative approaches to education. Well done, Sir Kabibil, and congratulations once again. Thank you.